Hey, YouTubers out there in YouTube land. I'm Angela, and welcome to I Prep to Survive. So, it is February, and I am African American. So, I'd like to give a shout out to all my fellow African American preppers, and I hope that you prep to survive, right? And I'd also like to throw down some history that, man, gets no play, right? And it's pretty much about the bombing that happened to people in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. Yeah, it's like a time when the government actually bombed its own citizens. That's how much we were hated. And so basically, like on May 31st, 1921, it's an affluent neighborhood or community basically of African Americans, and they nicknamed it the Black Wall Street because these people were fly. They built their mansions, they had their own commerce and everything, and they were doing the doggone thing. But then there was this altercation where this lady who was European American, and she said that this guy tried to, I guess, touch her inappropriately, and man, all crap broke loose, right? So they went around burning people alive, killing people, dragging them out their houses, burning the houses down, taking stuff, and they bombed them. Like, actually, literally, got into planes, flew in the air, and dropped bombs on them. Like that song, "Bow, you drop that bomb on me, baby." And that's what they did, right? So I have to tell you guys, if you want to get some more information on that as an African American, or as just anyone else who wants some information on this to see if I'm lying, go ahead. I'll try and put a link in here as soon as I can about it. But yes, that's a part of African American history. And that's some things that bring me to the next topic of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. In prepping, if you're talking about long term prepping, maybe going past a week of having no assistance, no emergency responders that can help you, maybe the power's out. Um, if you get to a 3 to 7 day window of that stuff, you're going to have chaos because now the systems are down for so long and people rely on these systems for food and water and shelter. People are going to be looting and just going, AWOL, right? They're going to be out there doing things that normally our systems of checks and balances keeps in place. Okay, so with that being said, like I was referring to the Black Wall Street thing earlier, people are generally okay, but for those who are not, you're going to run into a lot of people who just don't like you, and they're going to pretend they're in that movie called The Purge. They're going to be after you just cuz, kind of Mad Max like, just out there hurting people for no reason, robbing, raping, killing, whatever. Those kind of people exist. I know there are people who are saying, "Come on, Angela." There are people out there who are nice and they help people. They even helped your people in the Underground Railroad, right? Right. That is true. However, there's a lot more people who do a lot more stupid things innately. That's just a human trait, okay? So you take things away from humans that make them comfortable, and when they have to survive and they think about it's going to be them or you, they're going to choose themselves in that situation a lot of times, and they're going to do whatever they can. If it calls for violence, they will be violent. So, with that being said, I think that a very big thing for preppers to think about is socializing with other people, learning about people that you might not talk to as often. Think about your community and who's around you, because I guarantee that in most communities, people kind of get in their little groups and they stay there and they're comfortable in that group of people that they usually talk to. You're going to need to be able to talk to a lot of different people. So I would suggest that you try to do that in your community as much as you can. Go in places that you don't normally go in and See what it's like. See if you can talk to some people, strike up a conversation. Because if you don't know how to talk to a person um, correctly now, when the stuff hits the fan and you're trying to express yourself to barter with them or come inside their home for protection or what have you, and you're talking to them in the wrong way because you just said an inappropriate thing to them and you didn't know it, or it's gonna show. It's gonna show like dirty panties. Okay, so it will be bad, all right? So just work on your social skills. Get books that tell you how to read people. I'll put some information to some books that might help you out because you're going to have to know about people in general. Okay, let's see. There's something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, yeah. So, climate change, right? Today in Dallas, it's like 75 degrees. It could be even warmer, but I'm thinking last I checked it was 75. 75 degrees, and it's like February the 19th, 2016. So for even the area of Dallas, that's a pretty warm weather change for this time of year. And with climate change, we produce more floods and more tornadoes and more landslides and more droughts and more fire weather, where things can just, catch on fire. And it's just so much more things that could happen when it comes to natural disasters because the weather's off balance. And with that off balance means you especially need to think about what is coming ahead. So for us personally here in Dallas, I know what's coming. The big winds, the great winds are coming, okay? And they huff and they puff and they blow stuff down, right? It ain't no joke, because I am terrified of a tornado, okay? There are not a lot of basements in Dallas, okay? So attached to homes. And therefore, you're not going underground to hide from anything. So, what I would suggest you do, if you know something's coming up, like tornado season coming up, please get all the information you can. I'll put as many links as I can about what we can do to prepare for these upcoming seasons of climate change. And we'll go through it together. We'll be okay, okay? We just have to make sure that we have a big arsenal of what we can do before it gets there, okay? So just keep that in mind. Moving right along, prepping as a vegetarian. On my last video, there was a question in the comment section about, hey, if you're a vegetarian, what do you do for prepping for food for your family and for yourself? That is a good question because, like I said, this year in January, I just started with my husband. We're vegetarians. Now, I have a daughter. She's a college student, you guys, and she's been a vegetarian for years now, more than 4 years, okay? She's doing really well. And then I have another daughter who's about to go to college. I only have two, but my other daughter who's about to go to college, she still prefers to eat meat. So right now, that's what we do for her. We fix our meals similar, just hers will have some sort of meat added into it. Now, for vegetarians, I would say that you're going to have to learn how to dry your vegetables, and you're going to have to learn to can your vegetables, grow your own food, especially for the soil that's around you, okay? And what I say that for is because, like I said, some people are living in different places. This one always sticks out when I'm talking to you guys. But we're living in different places, right? And so where I am, it's a lot of limestone. The ground is hard, you guys. I mean, it's like rock hard. It's got rocks and lime and crap in it. And a lot of people do those above the ground gardens where they'll stack dirt on top of the existing dirt in order to grow something. That's how terrible sometimes the ground can be. So I would suggest that you go to a store and there's a soil testing kit that you can get, see what kind of soil you have, see how you can make things grow, test, and you got to be like a mad scientist on this though, yo, because sometimes it's very hard to grow food. And I mean, settlers and stuff had to deal with that stuff, right? And I would suggest that. Also, hydro gardening um, is a gardening that's been around for a little while where they're growing things without using the dirt as much. They're using water and they're kind of stacking. It's a system that they've got where they can vertically grow things, and it's kind of cool. I would suggest you could look that up, hydro gardening. But basically, I wanted to say, if you're out there for a long time and you can't be in your home, and you are, like, say, just traveling with a bunch of people, you got your book bag on, your bug out bag, and you're just going from place to place, you can't bring all that food with you, right? So what are you going to do? Well, when the tough gets going, you know it's just like you're going to have to decide if you're going to eat meat or not, because it could be eat meat or die. I think that's why people started eating meat in the first place, right? Because look, if scientifically we go by that the first people pretty much originated in the continent of Africa, and it was all, sunshiny and nice weather, and they could grow vegetation and stuff. They were eating fruits and vegetables and whatever. And then when they had to migrate, for whatever reason they migrated, and then um, they got into colder climates, and then they didn't have food available to eat, and so they just, I don't know, bit into the side of a goat or something. I don't know how that happened. I don't know who the first person to eat meat was. But I do know that that was just out of pure necessity, because that's gross, right? I mean, if you think about it, it's gross. But yes, when I smell a steak or some chicken and I ain't been that long off of it, I do be like, oh, that smells so good. But it's getting to the point now that it's just going past me, where as long as I get substance, I'm okay, and I'm not fiending for a steak or something like that. And you'll get to it too if you're just trying out vegetarianism or whatever. But it's up to you to get all the information you can on what you can do in place. But when you're traveling, when you're displaced out of your home as a direct result of disaster, I don't know what to tell you about sticking to your morals of being a vegetarian, because after a while, if you're hungry, you're just going to need to eat something in order to stay alive, to become a vegetarian again one day. Okay? So that's my best advice to you about that. Well, I hope that everything is going well for all of you out there in YouTube land. Once again, this is Angela. I prep to survive, and I survive to live. Think about that. Thank you.